The first thing I do is the base idle setting, and that's where I start. On an international, that happens to be, on my meter over here, about 24.5 at idle, that's actual mercury. That's a mercury gauge, a 30-inch mercury column, so that's real mercury. But because the barometer changed today, I'm actually calibrating a little bit lower. For the international, the fuel flow at this reading that I would expect on the fuel flow part would be about 65 to 70 cc's at that particular setting. It's probably impossible to read, but it's flowing about 82 at idle, so I'm going to wean it down a little bit. I already have a bench setting right now for a starting point. So I'm actually pretty happy with what I'm seeing. It's slightly on the tolerance of rich to lean, not being too rich, but not being too lean, but in the tolerance level, it's on the high side, meaning it's not too lean, it's certainly not too rich, but it's on the high side, when they usually run better that way. That's usually where you prefer to have it. If you wanted gas mileage or someone wanted something custom built, then we might change the jetting or the air correction and actually be able to move that downward a little bit on the low side where it's still within tolerance, so you get a few extra miles a gallon. The last thing I'm going to check now is the choke setting for the choke pull-off, and that's more of a visual, and that's also based on the fuel metering, so I know that the fuel metering, where the tolerance is, I might actually customize that setting, which is about 1/8 of an inch of gap between the choke wall and the choke blade for this particular carburetor in that particular setting. So I give it a good bill of health. And that concludes the flow test.